I'm here to kick ass.
Hello everybody, it is Briximus Prime back for another Transformers Rise of the Beasts action figure video, and today we're taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts. Wait, did I just repeat myself? Bumblebee! And yeah, let's just get right on into the frickin' packaging. We've got Bumblebee's mugshot right there. It says he's a deluxe class. Got Bumblebee right there, ready to take down some Terracons. Says he's number 100. We're on 100 already? But then again, 90% of those are all Bumblebees. The Studio Series Bumblebee, Hasbro, Transformers, Generations, Takara. Got Transformers right there. And then we've Authentic Transformers! And then here on the back, we've got Bumblebee right there. Take a shot every time I say the word Bumblebee throughout this review. Anyway, that seems to be about it for the packaging. Well, mostly. And this guy obviously continues the tradition of coming with a Studio Series cardboard backdrop, so you have more display options, blah blah blah, and accessories. And then Bumblebee here doesn't come with a whole lot in terms of accessories, but that's okay. First of all, he comes with his little arm cannon here, which is painted up in gray paint, but it's cast in yellow plastic, which, again, I appreciate the amount of paint here, but I feel like there are other figures that have done this same thing that look a bit better. So I feel like over the past couple years, Hasbro's been stepping down their game on painted details, especially when this thing exists. And then finally, the arm blade here is unpainted. I would have much rather preferred the cannon had been cast out of unpainted gray plastic and then have this blade end up getting painted up. Sadly, there's no official weapon storage for this guy, so disappointed! And then you can arm up Bumblebee with his painted arm cannon and his unpainted box cutter. And that's not too bad of a look right there. Also, before we get into the details on Bumblebee, I just realized I hadn't transformed his nipples. And here is taking a look at Bumblebee's head sculpt. And again, looks very good. I like how it looks, very screen accurate. Painted up very nicely, which again, I need to bring this up. Technically, when this figure first released earlier this year, back in like April, the first copies of this figure did not have paint there around the eyes. And thankfully, during the second wave of this figure getting restocked, he ended up getting painted in faces all the way, and so all's right with the world. Actually, I spoke too soon. The rest of the figure is painted, yes, but I still feel like this guy is lacking in some paint, which might lead me to get a premium finish version of this figure if they ever release one. I would like to see premium finish painted up figures of... But yeah, overall, I do love how the figure looks here. I do like that they painted up his arms and also right here in the chest as well. Again, the blue eyes are also very striking, very easy to spot. Would have liked light piping. I hate that light piping is getting cut back on a lot of figures, and this guy would have really benefited from some with those big blue eyes. And, of course, I would have liked maybe some extra paint in the abdomen to pick out some extra molded details, but at least they did put some here on the thighs and the shins and on the feet. And overall, I still feel like these rims here are also a bit lacking, considering that figures in the past have had better handling of rims with like actual painted in rims. And also, I feel like this guy's also does a better job at cleaning up kibble in the back area. It sits a lot more flush, where this guy seems to have a lot of baggage back here. Why did it take 100 Studio Series figures to just perfect this to be more flat? But not just that, I can also tell that this guy has improved upon Studio Series a lot in terms of his articulation as well. There's a ball joint at the head, which allows his head to swivel all the way that way and all the way to the other side. And then again, look up and down, not really any head pivoting. Shoulders are on a ball joint, they can rotate back that far, they can rotate about that far. Again, wings kind of get in the way. Shoulders can move outward that far, and they can hinge and shift down. And then he does get a bicep swivel. and all that. 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. That's slightly over. No wrist swivel, sadly, but he does get a nice buttery smooth waist swivel. The hips can rotate forward. They can rotate back a little bit. He can do the splits almost. He does get a thigh swivel. 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And then the ankles have a very nice ankle pivot and a very good ankle swivel. So very nice articulation here on Bumblebee. I can really see what the buzz was about this figure.
Stop it. Get some help.
Here's the Rise of the Beasts Studio Series number 100 Bumblebee compared next to the Michael Bay 2007 Studio Series number 1 Bumblebee. And holy crap, this is like night and day. And then here he is with the Bumblebee movie Studio Series Bumblebee, and again, I do think this figure has definitely improved upon things, but I still feel like this figure has other features that this one doesn't have. I'm kind of split on these two figures at the moment. And then here he is compared next to another Studio Series Bumblebee. And then here he is with another Studio Series Bumblebee. They just keep going. They just keep going. It won't stop. It won't stop! Oh, thank goodness. Here he is compared next to the last Rise of the Beasts Studio Series figure I took a look at, the Deluxe Class Air Razor. And then here he is compared next to the Studio Series Leader Class Scourge. And with these two, you can create those iconic scenes from the movie. Wait a second. Anyway, now let's get into Bumblebee's quick and easy transformation. And here's now taking a look at Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee in his off-road Camaro mode. And yeah, I really like it. I don't know if it's because of my nostalgia for the Michael Bay movies and also my love for the Bumblebee movie, but I love this hybrid. I love that the car mode got that Michael Bay kind of esque, feel to it with the Camaro mode, but it's also from the universe of the Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee movie stuff. So like it's a perfect blend of the two live action movies that I really like. And kibble is pretty manageable. Just the arms kind of poke out a little bit there on the bottom, but overall it's not too shabby. And the car does roll, and like I said, nice detail, especially with the black stripes and sculpted details, painted details. The only thing I feel a little bit let down by is I feel like these wheels are a bit of a downgrade, considering that a couple years ago there were other cars that had much better looking wheels with actual painted in rims and tires. So like, I feel like this is a little bit lacking in that regard. The black tires are a bit boring considering that we've had better tires in previous years. But I'm not going to hold it against this figure too much because I am displaying him in robot mode most of the time. Now, this guy does have weapon storage under the car. You take his little unpainted blade here and you just stick it and tab it right into there so it sticks under the car. Pretty good storage right there. Does kind of cover up that hollow gap there. And then the gun is supposed to like hang off the back of the car here, but I just cannot figure it out for the life of me. It keeps saying in the instructions that it just tabs on like this, but it will not tab in. Either that or I'm just retarded. Probably just retarded. Overall, the car is pretty accurate to what we've seen in the movie. I just wish that he had those rims painted in. And now for vehicle mode comparisons. Here is Bumblebee compared to Bumblebee, 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 and that's right, you guessed it, Bumblebee. Here he is with my previous Rise of the Beasts review, I'm
retarded?
The Deluxe Class Air Razor. And then here he is with the Leader Class Scourge. And that is basically it for my review on the Transformers Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee. And overall, I think he has a pretty great robot mode. The painting is pretty precise, and it does look nice, and I'm glad I was able to get a version that has the painted face. And I cannot emphasize how good the articulation is. I just can't help but feel like there's these little nitpicks that are holding him back, either with the accessories or the figure itself, or the painted details and such, or lack of painted details. These are just issues that I feel like we never had on older figures, and they're only just becoming problems now. I think the vehicle mode is pretty dang good, and I think it scales pretty well with everything else, relatively speaking. And overall, I think the just the overall vehicle mode just executes pretty well. It's just, again, I am a little upset about the rims. I feel like Hasbro's been skipping out on the way how the rims in some vehicle modes look now. Where a couple years ago, even though the engineering wasn't as top-notch as it is now, it feels like the painting and the coloring of figures a couple years ago was a little bit better. And if I had to give this figure a rating, I'd give him a very solid 8 out of 10. Just almost there to perfection. So that is basically it for this review. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give me a like on the video, comment below what you guys think, subscribe to the channel for more Transformers and action figure videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.